Blizzard might just have done their best hero test event ever. Let's have a look. In case you have been busy this week with the sorting of a bag of M&Ms according to size, this weekend Blizzard did a test event for Juno, the upcoming Season 12 support hero. They started doing these test events after they announced Mauga back at Blizzcon, and they have proven to be very useful, especially after that messy release of Lifeweaver. But they haven't gotten us that perfect release just yet. Mauga went through a very rough testing phase, and let's be honest, he still is a bit of a problem child. And while Venture started out pretty strong, they quickly proved to be a little overpowered, and yeah, they got nerfed, and now they seem to have moved to the background. But that might be different this time around. I think they might have nailed it with Juno. Maybe. It's kind of hard to tell after just 3 days of testing, especially when it comes to the numbers. What I will say, however, is that her kit is one of the most balanced, fun, and versatile experiences on a support hero that I've had in a really long time. Let's just say in all of Overwatch too. Her mobility is very effective, yet not too strong that she becomes elusive. She is that type of support that works pretty well in the backline, where she can stay out of sight and keep a nice overview. I've seen some people complain about her mobility being a bit chunky, but I think we just need to get used to her. It's a different version of mobility than we have with Echo, Pharah, or Diva. Her primary fire is confusing for about 20 seconds, because it is an SMG that both heals and does damage. It's very weird. But once you snap out of that and you channel your inner Ana, it actually makes a lot of sense. And much like Ana, she does not crit, which might become a bit of a discussion point, but for me personally, I think that is fine. By the way, did you notice that the little smiley face on the gun will change color and state depending on what target you're aiming at, friend or foe? I love those types of details. Now, the way to push Juno's numbers, both the DPS and the healing, is by using the secondary fire to keep that on cooldown. You'll do a nice amount for both. The minimum charge to line up those shots doesn't take too long, so it doesn't feel like you're wasting time and you're not healing while you're doing that. And the auto aim is in no way as broken as some people feared it would be. And that is mainly because there is that bit of a charge, you need to have line of sight, and there's a fall off to those torpedoes. So you need to be in the proper spot and close enough to have the maximum impact. The only issue I have with the ability is that you need to use secondary fire to get it rolling, to get your targets in. And then you need to use your primary fire to set it off. Or you can wait 4 seconds and then it will set off by itself. But that felt really counterintuitive. In my first games, I actually canceled my torpedoes a few times, and then I was stuck with a 10-second cooldown. However, in the settings, there's a toggle that you can use to disable the confirmation. So at that point, it will set off the torpedoes as soon as you let go of the secondary fire button, which feels so much better. They should have made that the standard option. The hypering was one of the abilities that I was the most curious about and slightly worried, because I feared it was only going to be useful in the rollout and when you started pushing. And that's because you physically need to walk through the ring. The thing is that ring has a pretty big hitbox. So if you drop it in the middle of your team, it will actually activate and it will speed up. So that can help them out during a defensive phase or when they need to retreat. It's better than I thought it was going to be. A nice surprise. And then there's her ultimate. You know, the one I predicted. Yeah. First off, there's no real cast bar, she just does this little swipe gesture, and there's no placement or anything. It will just spawn right in front of you, and it will start traveling in the direction that you are looking the moment you spawn it. And that does take some getting used to, especially because it moves rather slow. Like my first time I set it off, I actually was too far away from my team, so by the time it reached them, it had despawned. That was underwhelming. And later on, I noticed that some of my team members were not inclined to walk into the beam. They actually tried to get out of it, as if it was an enemy ability. Now that one is going to fix itself over time. But I do think it might help if they give her a way to place it somewhere, much like Bastion and Doomfist do. On the other hand, that might make it too strong. See, number-wise, I really don't feel comfortable calling this hero. It could still go either way. 3 days of playing is just not enough. What I will say, however, is when it comes to measurable impact, so I'm talking damage, healing, and eliminations, she ranks somewhere just under Baptiste, especially if you keep your secondary fire on cooldown. And that is not bad at all. On top of that, she also brings a lot of nice utility with her hyper ring and with her ultimate. But above all, she is so much fun to play. She might be the most fun I've had on support in a while. It just feels very rewarding to use all of her abilities. And while you stand a chance when you get pushed, it's not to the point where it will get frustrating for whoever is hunting you. You'll get away one tap, but if they keep track of you and keep pushing you, and you don't get the help you need, you're toast. And not the good type of toast, which is toast with Nutella, toast with peanut butter, toast with cheese. Yeah, I like my toast. I do think she might need some tuning a little bit when they release her. And then once we all get used to her, yeah, they'll need to have a look at her again. But I don't think it's going to be anything too dramatic. There's not that one breaking ability that we've seen on some of the other heroes. I really think she might even end up releasing better than Iyari did, and that is saying a lot. And I feel I'm not the only one that thinks so. Overall, the community has been rather positive about Juno, even those people that usually take any chance they get to talk trash about the game. So yeah, impressive. Good job, Blizzard. Now, the only thing that could ruin the release on August 20th is if they release her with just a few recolors. Or if we don't get an origin story again. But we'll deal with that once we get there. Oh, by the way, while we're talking about the story, I've seen some people claim that Juno is May's cousin because she calls May auntie in one of her kill voice lines. But in a lot of cultures, auntie is kind of a different title. It's not only the sister of your mom or your dad, it's basically a woman that is older than you and that is pretty close to you or your family. And that could include the best friend of your mother. Yeah, I'm sticking with that theory. Juno is JJ's daughter. But anyways, what do you guys think about Juno? Let me know in the comments. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my Patreons. I could not make these videos without you guys. You have my eternal gratitude. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out this video. Come on, click it. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.